Good day, everyone. Welcome to Trinity Music Academy and Allied Services Limited, Nigeria, where we repair musical instruments, we sell musical instruments, and we train people how to play musical instruments. This keyboard was sent to us by one of our customers that saw our online repair post. The model of the keyboard is YAMAHA Portable Grand Piano DGX305. It was sent from Benin, Edo State, here in Nigeria. The fault with the keyboard was actually sound. So we were told that the keyboard is functioning, the keyboard is doing every other thing, just that the sound does not come out. They have given it to like 2 technicians. Those people advised them that they should go and change the motherboard. So they couldn't get the motherboard over there. When they contacted us, we told them that we do repair digital motherboard. They should send it over to us so that we'll be able to fix it. So we just plug in our adapter to it and confirm the fault with the keyboard. So the screen actually has some kind of dent, but at least it is showing, and the owner does not complain about changing the screen. So the screen is working perfectly. So the keyboard has come up, but on playing it, you can see that there's no sound, and this is the highest volume. So no sound, lowest volume, no sound. So the keys also, they are not playing. So none of the keys is playing, but the keyboard is functioning. So you can see. So the keyboard is functioning, everything is working, but just that the sound is not coming out of it. So what we want to do now is just, the essence of the video is just to let engineers know when they have this kind of issue, what are the suspected components, what are the suspected parts. When you have this issue, what can be the issue? The issue can be this. That is what we want to show. So we'll use the keyboard now, then we'll be able to point at those components that are actually responsible for sound in this particular model of keyboard. So these are the parts that are related to sound. So the first one is the volume. So this is the volume potentiometer. If it has issue, the sound is not going to come out. So the second one is this particular phono jack. If it has issue also, the sound may not come out. The third one is this particular component. So it is a power amplifier, analog power amplifier, but this one is just for the sound to come out from the speaker. So if it has issue and it doesn't block any other thing, the sound is going to come out from the phono when you plug the jack plug to it, but the sound will not come out from the speaker or from the tweeter. So another thing that we need to observe is this particular regulator. So we have 2 linear voltage regulators here. So the first one supplies 5D. Both of them are supplying 55 volts. So this first one supplies 5D to the main board. So for digital component on the main board. And this second one supplies 5 volts to the audio and to the audio component on the main board, and the same 5 volts from this place is also supplied to the backlight of the screen. So that is the essence. So if this one is 40, definitely the backlight of the screen will not come up. So as long as the backlight of the screen comes up, that shows that this particular voltage regulator supplies 5 volts, and the same 5 volts is being supplied to the main board. So now going to the main board. So as many as the components here, we only have few components that are related to sound on this particular motherboard. For example, this particular one is the tone generator, and at the same time is the CPU. That is the main CPU of this particular board. And so whenever you hear a microcontroller is performing 2 functions, that shows that it's going to supply 2 different signals. So this first signal is going to supply is the one that will work for the main board, and this first one is going to be supplied to this SDRAM. To this DRAM. This is a dynamic random access memory, 4 megabits. So this is the first signal. So the second signal is going to supply will be for the sound, and this signal supply is a digital signal. So the signal here will now come to this particular component here. This is the DAC, digital to analog converter. It is commonly called sound. For most people, they just call it sound. So the digital signal will come here. This one will turn the digital signal to analog signal. So the analog signal produced here is the sound is going to be very low. So this one will now transfer the signal to this particular component. This is the operational amplifier, op amp. So this particular one will now amplify the sound, we increase the intensity of the sound, so the sound will be very low, and all these capacitors, they are going to work on the sound to filter it, to make sure that the sound does not have anything like background noise. Then the sound will now come to this particular end. This cable will now transfer the sound to this particular end. Then you can now check other ones. So to check signal from this place, you can use many instruments. You can use oscilloscope, you can use signal tracer and other instruments to know the signal that is coming from here. So if you have issue with sound, don't bother to come here. This is just a flash room. Don't bother to come here. This is the program room. It has nothing to do with sound. So this particular one is the one that works for the key. So this is for the USB and this is for the display. So each component has different function. You don't just do a kind of guesswork. Maybe it is this, you begin to remove, you begin to solder, and whenever you want to use a component, use the one that you are very sure of that it is actually working fine, not that you will remove. In the process of doing that, it may be affecting other things. The only exception that is in this explanation is that when some components got burnt, they may block signal from another component. For example, now if this component got burnt, whether internally or externally, it may block signal from coming out of this particular CPU. So doesn't mean that it is the CPU that is faulty, it is this one that is faulty. But if you can diagnose, you will know where to go step by step. So when it gets here, you do the same thing to it. So when the sound gets here, it will come here, then it will go to the volume before it now goes to the phono and goes to the speaker from here. So that is how this particular one works. So for this one, we change the DAC and the OP amp because those are the two things that has issue there. After we fixed the DAC, the sound came out, but it was low. So we have to replace the OP amp. That boosts the sound and everything came out well. So this particular one is working perfectly now. We are going to copy it back and then play it. So as you can see, it has come up. So we have some keys actually season, but the person said what they want is the sound. When they get to their side, they find solution to it. You can see the pitch bend is already what? It's already locked. So that is one of the issues there. So one speaker is even working sometimes because one speaker has issue, but because they are using it with engine, he said I should just leave that one. You can see that there is dents on the screen. He said they can still manage it. I should just make the keyboard sound, and we have made the keyboard sound now. Everything on the keyboard, they are working in terms of sound. So if you have any issue with your keyboard, whether digital piano, clavinova, motif, montage, PSRS, PSRE, ordinary PSR, just feel free to contact us at Trinity Music Academy. Our phone numbers are 070-344-81622 or 081-3402-5174. If you are in Lagos, you can visit us at number 3 Victoria Close off Orchid Street, Diamond Estate bus stop along Isheri Lasso Road, Lagos. Thanks.